Today on DC News Now, President Joe Biden out of November's election. Now the presidential race is heating up.
I think he did the patriotic thing. I think he did the thing that's best for our country.
Breaking down what's next, plus the reaction from local voters. Lots of wet weather in store this week, tracking the rain hour by hour. Did you know high heat can be especially dangerous for people who take some medications? The crucial tips to stay safe. And planning on traveling overseas this summer? Learn how to prep your phone if you plan on taking a trip.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Liberty Simmons in for Mark Hall. Continuing coverage of Joe Biden's election shakeup in just a few moments. But first, we start with some wet weather outside that's made it into our area. And meteorologist Damon Matson joins us with the latest forecast. And Damon, I was out there at the White House and it was drizzling on us. How long will we need our umbrellas?
I think it's going to be safe to say you keep that handy for the next few days here. This rain is going to continue on and off. And normally, starting with gray skies, wet weather on a Monday, not that ideal. But given the fact that it's keeping us cooler and we desperately need some rain, it's not all that bad. Let's check it out there. We do have those waves of rainfall moving across the area. Now, this is a 4-hour loop of the radar. There has been some steadier rain, consistent steady rain just to our south into central Virginia, with a lot of that activity fizzling out this morning before it made it into the heart of the DMV. But now we are starting to see a couple of pockets of steadier rain, even a few thunderstorms make it all the way north into the DMV here. As we take a closer look into the DC metro area, we only have some very light sprinkles still within the district, but a heavier shower has just passed through Montgomery County north of Olney there, and we're seeing a little bit of steadier rain starting to develop across southern Prince George's County near Forestville, also down toward Maryvale and Clinton. And then as we zoom even farther south into southern Maryland, quite a bit of heavy rain falling right now from Chesapeake Beach over to Fox Den and Eagle Harbor, so Calvert County really seeing some of the heavier rainfall that could be out there as we go through the rest of this afternoon. Not much is going to change. The clouds stay around, and we're going to continue to see those waves of rain, perhaps a few thunderstorms in the mix as well. Some much needed soggy weather. Now, is this the same pattern we're going to have repetitively over the next few days? We'll have your full forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Damon. DC News Now is your local election headquarters. President Biden is dropping out of the presidential race, becoming the first sitting U.S. president since Lyndon B. Johnson in 1968 to not seek re-election. Now lawmakers are returning to Capitol Hill as Biden endorses Vice President Kamala Harris for the Democratic nomination. National correspondent Raquel Martin examines whether Democrats can unite behind her.
We should have a better read on where the entire party stands in the next coming days, but already reactions are pouring in, and many Democrats are enthusiastically supporting Vice President Kamala Harris.
After President Joe Biden shocked the nation by bowing out of the 2024 race and endorsed his vice president, Democrats appear to be uniting behind Vice President Kamala Harris.
I'm ready for her to lead.
Nevada Congressman Stephen Horsford, who's also the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, says it's time to focus on winning in November.
She is best prepared and most qualified to win this nomination, to defeat Donald Trump.
Dozens of influential Democrats, from the Clintons to Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, are all pledging their support for the VP. But notably, congressional Democratic leaders, including former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, stopped short of a Harris endorsement.
We're going to have an open, orderly, democratic process.
Senator Richard Blumenthal suggests the party will have an open primary to allow delegates to weigh in before informally nominating a candidate ahead of the Democratic National Convention next month.
And then we will come together with an excitement and exuberance, even a joy.
In a statement, Harris vows to earn and win over support. So far, no other Democrats are challenging Harris for the nomination, although independent Senator Joe Manchin appears to be flirting with the idea. Legislative affairs expert Casey Burgett says with the president behind her, Harris has a huge advantage.
That's about as good as an endorsement as you can give.
And since the announcement, we're told Vice President Kamala Harris has been working nonstop to shore up support. A source close to the vice president says she made more than 100 calls to different Democratic governors, members of Congress, and also civil rights and labor leaders. For now in Washington, Raquel Martin, back to you.
Thanks, Raquel. And this afternoon, we're learning about more Democrats joining President Biden in endorsing Vice President Harris. Despite gaining support, Harris is not the de facto nominee for the Democratic Party. And that is because the Democratic National Committee says it is going to follow rules and procedures of the party to pick a candidate. Now, the party's chair says that is expected to happen in the coming days. Meantime, potential presidential candidates being named include California Governor Gavin Newsom and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. Meantime, political experts are measuring Vice President Harris's chances of winning the November election if she is nominated. Polling done by The Hill and Decision Desk headquarters last week shows Trump leading Harris by 2 points. Trump has roughly 47% of support, while Harris has 45%. Experts say this is around the same time as Trump's 2.5 lead over Biden. Locally, there are mixed reactions from DMV voters about the president's decision to drop out of the race. Some gathering in front of the White House yesterday to show support for the president's decision. Now, all eyes turn to Vice President Kamala Harris and whether she can beat former President Donald Trump. President Joe Biden has been isolating from COVID in Delaware. He announced Sunday he would drop out of the presidential race. Now, the move comes after a poor debate performance led to growing calls from within the Democratic Party for the president to step aside. Now, many of the president's supporters say as much as they wanted him to stay in the race, they back his decision. Some say the president did the patriotic thing and what was best for the country, while others came to the White House to say good riddance. Some criticized the Democratic Party, saying Biden earned millions of votes in the primary and should still be the nominee.
I think it was a very noble thing to do. I think he has served his country very well. He has dedicated his entire life to serving this country, and this is no different. He has listened to the American people. He has put his country first.
Now, the president has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris, but the party has said it intends to do its due diligence before nominating a candidate. Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance will campaign in Virginia this week. It comes as the Trump campaign targets the Commonwealth, with President Biden's polls dropping there. Poll numbers dropping there. Now, Vance will speak on Monday in Radford and is expected to criticize the White House over its economic and border policies. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expected to touch down in D.C. today. This comes at a time of massive uncertainty following Biden's withdrawal from the presidential race. Now, Biden has been a very firm supporter of Israel in its war against Hamas, but with the president's decision to step aside, Netanyahu must convince whoever takes over the presidency to continue that support. Developing now, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue says one person was injured after a tractor trailer slammed into a bridge and a car on 495. Crews responded to the crash on the Beltway near River Road in Bethesda yesterday morning. The person who was injured was taken to the hospital. We are not aware of their condition. In Virginia, Fairfax County Police say they have arrested a 17-year-old for hitting and killing a man while allegedly driving under the influence. Officials responded to the crash at the intersection of Lorton Road and Timorand Drive Saturday night. They found 35-year-old Jamar Caper suffering from life-threatening injuries. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Detectives believe narcotics may have played a role in the crash, and speed is still being investigated. An Alexandria man is searching for justice after he says his dog died at a PetSmart store. He says he dropped his dog off at PetSmart at Potomac Yard last month. Now, the dog later died 2 days after. Now, this is among 2 other dogs that died recently at that location. The man says his dog passed a checkup before he stayed at the store.
We would want transparency from PetSmart some sort of communication. I would want them to hand over the surveillance footage.
Now, PetSmart says in an email they are working with the Animal Welfare League of Alexandria to investigate the deaths.
Oh, yeah. James Wood, deep left field. See you later.
And it is out of there. Montgomery County native James Woods helping the Nationals to a sweep after All-Star Weekend after hitting this home run. The rookie's game-winning blast spurred a 5-2 win over the Cincinnati Reds. It came with 2 outs in the 8th inning of last night's game. It moves the Nationals within 4 games of a playoff position despite the team's front office saying they are still in rebuilding mode. Now Woods is just happy to help the team win.
Definitely, you want to start the second half out, and I mean, each of these games they've been real close, and I feel like we've known that we had a good shot in them in each every game. So I feel like we got to fight. So we just been fighting to the very end.
Hopefully that luck keeps going. The Nationals take on the Padres at home tonight. First pitch is at 6:45. And before the game, organizers announced the 2024 DC Sports Hall of Fame class. Former National star Ryan Zimmerman earned an induction. He earned the nickname Mr. National over 16 years with the team. Former Commanders GM Charlie Casserly and longtime announcer Dave Johnson also made it in. Now, former Maryland women's basketball star Vicky Bullitt and former Mystics star Shamiqua Holdsclaw were also inducted.